much for watching. Welcome back here to the Surf Coast in Victoria. Give it up, people. We're doing it for Torquay. And please keep your uproarious applause going for four very special guests who are four separate pillars of the community, a community that has many more pillars to it. But let's get into these four, which are very interesting fellas. Let's have a chat to Brian Hayden, who is the owner of Hayden Real Estate. Give it up. Brian Cook, who's the Chief Executive of none other than the Geelong Cats, everybody. Oh, I love the footy show. It's Stephen Kay's the CEO of Rip Curl Australia, ladies and gents. He's the Asia Pacific CEO too. I won't throw it in. And Thomas Kerrigan, I want him to get the loudest of all because he's an apprentice, everybody. All right. Now, formal introductions out of the way. Let's have a chat about your part of the world. I'm going to start with you. How hard was it to get an apprenticeship?
Originally at the start, it was a little difficult considering that I am a mature age. So I started looking for an apprenticeship when I was about probably late 23, start 24. And it's a little bit difficult because obviously the pay grade's a little bit higher and things like that. And it, that's a bit difficult to try and confront a boss with straight up. But it also does have its other benefits. It comes with maturity and stuff like that, not being a 16-year-old kid fresh out of school and things like that. So I found it was a little bit difficult to get it in the first place. But once you do have it, it's pretty easy to get a firm foothold. So in terms of, having camaraderie with your fellow, workmates and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So what about that? You're now a 25-year-old chippy, you're a carpenter, you're working in the housing industry, and we'll get into some of how that housing industry is in a second. But what do you want to do with your life? Do you want to keep working here? Do you want to skill up and go somewhere? What do you want to do?
Well, first of all, I do love carpentry. It's a brilliant industry. But if you speak to anyone who's been in the carpentry game for a little while, they'll tell you that it's not really one that's you can stick at past the age of 40 to 50. As an eventuality, you do need to start looking down the avenue of possibly running your own business or something like that. So, I've already taken a few steps with getting my certificate for in building construction management and also my diploma as well last year, so during my second year of my apprenticeship during night school, which is a bit tough, but yeah, it's got me on the start of my road to, what I want to eventually achieve, but which I don't quite know 100% yet, but first got to get all the qualifications and then you can go from there. So.
You don't have to have an answer at 25 for what you want to do the rest of your life.
I hope not.
But get ready to do plenty. Let's talk about Rip Curl and I just want to focus in on again that target decision today. 180 people have left from Geelong. The business has such success here. It was a really nasty thing to say on the way out that basically they couldn't find the right people in and around this area to be good enough to work in head office.
Yeah, Paul, I found it an interesting thing to hear. Certainly, as you mentioned earlier, the success of the Cotton On Group here in Geelong has been amazing. They have a huge workforce. Certainly, in my early days with Rip Curl, we did have problems finding good staff, but in the last 10 years, certainly with the growth of the population here, and certainly the wonderful work that the local educational institutions have done, particularly the Gordon Institute, has given us a wealth of talent. We certainly have nothing to complain about.
Yeah. What about the future for the business here? What's the ups and downs of basing such a massive company, not in Melbourne or Sydney or Brisbane?
Well, for me, because I'm a pretty avid surfer, there's no downside at all. We're right next to some of the best surf in the world here, and so certainly that's the kind of people we want to attract to the company. We have a saying at Rip Curl that no one's ever been sacked for going surfing, and we just sack them for not being worked. But no. So we definitely have a culture where we really promote surfers because we want people who are very much like our customers, and certainly it's a reason why people want to come and work for us and live here.
Yeah, it's cool. Let's talk about the Cats. Today, the announcement about the AFL pushing into China. Is Geelong going to be hopping on the plane? Will you be taking games to Africa or far-flung?
Well, it's a pretty exciting venture, very adventurous, but somehow I think we've got to get on top of Greater Western Sydney and the Gold Coast first.
Yeah, it's a good idea, isn't it? Yeah. Before we can lock down about China? Maybe the Giants could, be able to get up.
Let's lock down Australia first.
It's a good idea. But when you turn around and you look at that sort of stuff, for an area where a footy team means so much to the area, it's not a suburb, it's not part of the city, it's the city's team. It's good that the AFL always sort of wants to push the game in new horizons, but do they give enough love to your part of the world?
Sometimes. Yeah, generally the AFL are pretty good. Let me say that at the start. They spend a lot of money in development and all those sorts of things. But I think the responsibility of what we do in our community is ours, not the AFL's. And so, we continue to add layers to our club, whether it be, a community centre or our work with hospitals, so that we're more than a football team. And that really relates to our community, a favouritism